It still happens. We still have people at Rainham who have been brought in from the building site and straight into teaching. The difference is that now everybody who joins FE is encouraged to get the teaching qualification as well as their subject specialism, and that's where we talk about dual professionalism.
Depends if they got that qualification or not, really. That's what I think, in that area.
I think they can, but it depends on that person really. Industry professionals can come in and obviously teach the equipment, but as far as perhaps, so they can facilitate, but as far as other learning that needs to be done with standard learning, where we need to perhaps do a little bit of upfront learning first as a lecturer, that may not be so easily done. It may not be so natural. So it depends on the person, I think.
I go about it as a workshop kind of way, because I used to be an activity instructor, so I kind of instruct them and show them how to do it and let them go out there, do it themselves, and tell them maybe improve it a different way in their own way, and tell them to go and research it themselves, sort of thing. I can only give them specifics, but I can't exactly give them a full amount of blown teaching because I'm not qualified in that.
I think our learners deserve to have the best possible teachers that they can have. So along with the practical skills, they deserve people who can teach them theory in a variety of ways, using different teaching, learning and assessment strategies, and motivating them, and making the theory as interesting as the practical. So yes, I am a bit biased, and I think teachers should all have at least an introductory teaching certificate.
Obviously, because workshop teaching would be more of a facilitator rather than a lecturer as such. Whereas more formal qualifications tend to obviously have to do both, and I think maybe some industry professionals may not. I was an industry professional, so it's me too. May not realise that students have a different way of learning, possibly, and so they may not. One might do well by learning in a certain way, and the other one may need to learn in another way.
I get a buzz that I've shown them my knowledge of the industry that I've worked in so far. I've shown them my examples, my projects that I've done, and I've told them maybe the ways I would have changed it myself on my own projects, and they kind of got ideas from that, and they've learnt from that sort of stuff. That's what I like about it, and I found it quite challenging as well as a non-teacher.
You think you feel quite proud that you're able to do that?
Oh yeah.
From your life experience, real experiences. To teach someone.
Oh yeah, I'm quite proud of, showing them. I'm proud of what I've done in the past as well. Bad stuff that I've done that I've told them not to do, they've taken it away and not done it. Done it a different way.
Everybody talks about PGCE, and even people who are Cert Ed students currently will do it part-time. These are often vocational students because they can't get a degree in hairdressing, or they can't get a degree in beauty therapy anyway. They will often talk about they are doing the PGCE course. They will never say they're doing the Cert Ed course, because PGCE has a certain cachet. The problem with PGCE, of course, is that everybody thinks it's postgraduate, and it's not. It's professional in 9 cases out of 10. But it does have a status, it does have a cachet, and even academies, free schools will always look for people with PGCE. That is the benchmark. So well done for choosing Havering College to do your PGCE.
Yes, very much so. I think the teaching work has got harder as well for tutors as well as other members of staff. It's made it a lot harder for them to teach the subjects and getting the stuff out to the students. Depending on what the students are doing on what type of projects, they could be, if they're doing a film, they might be going down a different route. If they're doing documentaries or animations or music videos, there's loads of different techniques of filming, for example, than teaching it all. If gardening, different ways of gardening, or painting, or decorating, or building, maintenance, car maintenance. There's loads of different ways of teaching it.
I've been a lecturer now, this time around, about 7 years, and I took redundancy to do my PGCE full time, and then I went into teaching after that, higher education generally, before further education now. But before that, I did teach in the 90s without a teaching qualification. If I was to compare my teaching then to now I have a PGCE and have more experience. I don't think it's a lot different, but I am definitely more aware of how I teach, and I'm aware when I'm not doing enough diverse teaching, enough interaction with students, for instance. So I try not to physically stand in front of class and lecture so much. But I still think generally general teaching practice that is taught at university with a PGCE is common sense, really, when we look at it, about how students need to have a mixture of not just being spoken to, but interaction and problem-based learning, because obviously we all learn. That's how we all learn from birth. It's through our mistakes and learning by doing, basically. And so I think that's just common sense, really.
It gives you the basics. It's always like a driving test, because we give you the tools to help you with your classroom preparation and delivery. But it's only when you get the certificate that you actually start to gain experience and improve. But it's certainly the first steps in having a real understanding about how policies affect education on a wider level, or much more specifically, how to prepare lesson plans and resources and to motivate learners. So by getting this qualification, even though academies and free schools now say that you don't need it, 9 times out of 10, all things being equal, they'll always take the one with the teaching qualification. I come from the valleys of South Wales, and at the time that I was leaving school and thinking about a career, our careers advice was very, very limited. You went to university, teacher training college, civil service, banking or nursing. And that was about it, armed forces for the boys. So I could have gone to university, but I actually always wanted to be a teacher. So I chose, even with A-levels, to go to do teacher training as a specialist for 3 years. So I wanted to do that, and if you think about it, 3 whole years dedicated to teacher training. I feel that then the government looked upon education as important. So regardless of Tony Blair going education, 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 it was at that time seen that teachers should be properly trained and developed. We did have PGCE students at our college, and there was a very big divide, because they could do it like you're doing it now in a year. And it was felt that they felt a bit superior, and they assumed that we didn't have the same A-level qualifications as they did. But that wasn't true. We just chose to go a different route. And we all felt clearly that we were probably better prepared after 3 years than they were after a year. But it's debatable, and I'm sure they were really good, as you, as a group of PGC students, always turn out to be really good.